Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Ako po si Alvin Palabello upang magatid ng mga balita ngayon patungkol sa estado ng bansa, particularly sa sanitation project ng isa sa mga kumpanya na ngayon ay hinihinala ang inaatake ng political interest. No? So, by the way, kami po ay napapanood ng live sa Euro TV Philippines at Euro TV News sa lahat ng mga social media platforms. At sa ating mga kababayan, mag-ingat po tayo dahil may mga baha pa rin po sa ilang bahagi ng Rizal, Quezon City, at mag-ingat po tayong lahat. No? And we are glad this afternoon we have our guests which will be discussing the sanitary programs of their company that has been operating here in the Philippines for around more than 20 years. And as I have said earlier, it was been attacked by political interest. I think so, but let's just know later this in this program. So I'm glad to introduce to you the the technical director of the Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Holger Holtz. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, welcome to the program. Welcome to Euro TV Philippines.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for having me here.
All right, it's our pleasure, sir. No, I would like to know, sir, this Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation, how long is this operating here in the Philippines?
Metro Clark Waste Management is operating since 2002, means since 22 years. We got our contract from CDC in 1999, and we had to develop the area and set it up. And so, again, we are operational, really operational since 2002.
Up until now, this year.
Until now, we are full operational right now, yes.
Now, specifically, sir, for our audience, what does the projects of this Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation does offers to the LGUs and particularly for the public?
Yeah, you have to go into the basics of waste management. It doesn't matter if it's good recycling, there are always residuals, we always say residuals, which are the waste you cannot use for anything anymore. And you need a final disposal area, which in terms, it's a landfill. And this landfills nowadays in international standards has specific features which make sure that it protects the environment properly. When I came here to the Philippines, it was mostly the trash was dumped behind the creek or behind the fence, and there were just holes in the area. And we introduced, I think, as the first company in the Philippines, proper international standard waste management, which we maintain up to today.
So you're talking about the Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation are converting this waste into such disposable waste.
No, it's not converting. It's really the final resting place for material you cannot use anymore. There's no use for it. But this has to be environmental sound. That's a very important part of it. And that is what we started at the beginning. We are working on further developments like waste to energy and everything. But a landfill is always and will always be a basic for waste management because there are always residuals, leftovers which are not usable garbage.
How many local government units have been tied up with you in this kind of operation?
Over the years, we developed it, and I think we worked together with more than 160, in total 160 LGUs in, I always say, Greater Central Luzon, starting partially from Cavite City up to Baguio in the south, in the north, and industrial clients from Calabarzon, we be serving the Clark Free Zone, we're serving the Subic Free Zone, SBMA, we're serving Bataan Free Zone. It's our radius around our facility for our clients around 200 kilometers around us.
So mostly the public are benefiting this kind of projects. Have you heard some good feedback from the public with this kind of projects, sir?
When you look at it, we are serving right now around 15 million people. And this 15 million people know that their waste, their garbage...
15 or 50, sorry?
15 million people.
15 million, right.
50 is a little bit too much. No, they know that their garbage goes to an environmental sound place. And I think when I saw the reactions in the social media the last couple of weeks, I think we are more like than I expected. Because normally it's always protest against waste management. Nobody wants a landfill in the backyard. But we have very, very positive response because the people in the area know that we are right now the only alternative they have.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's a good feedback for the public in terms of your services to the Filipino people. But again, you've mentioned for the past 2 weeks, you've been some kind of criticized by some government, some agencies here in the Philippines. Also, the Basis Conversation or Convention and Development Authority or BCDA has mentioned that you are you were not credible for such renewal of your contract. How true is this, sir, in terms of your basic contract in terms of the waste management program?
Actually, we have a contract with the Clark Development Corporation. And in the old days, it was the Clark Special Economic Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And this contract says, in the first term, it's a contract of service, that we have the exclusive rights to collect waste from locators within the Clark Free Zone, former Clark Special Economic Zone. That's one part of the contract. That's our exclusivity, 25 years. It was original bidding, and we made special variations on the bidding and to show how it is economically feasible to do such business. And then what we propose is we serve the surrounding area, not Clark alone. And therefore, we need an area. Clark has a lot of area, so around 100 hectares. This is a lease automatically, and it's proven by CDC. Out of the law, the lease in the Philippines is automatically free zones. It's 50 years, extendable 25 years maximum. And that is what our basic for our foreign investment, let's say, was this agreement. And suddenly it is, I don't know why, politically, planning-wise, BCDA suddenly, they established a couple of years ago the new Clark City. And we are within the new Clark City. We are in the master plan of the new Clark City and up to last year, March at least. And now suddenly everything changed, and BCDA, as the administrator of the new Clark City, not even CDC, declares we should close. And we were a little bit shocked when we heard that. CDC came in with the same, and even negotiations didn't brought progress. So we had to file a case against CDC and BCDA, which is now in the courts, and the courts will decide if our contract is valid and worth it, as we understand.
Now, can you tell us something about, sir, the numbers of the metric tons of waste they have mentioned? Particularly, the BCDA said there are about metric tons from Florida Blanca and Vero Park, and likewise of 3,500 metric tons of waste per day from the other waste company. What was the real number that your company can accommodate, speaking about the metric tons of waste per day?
You have to understand, in the first place, the area is generating around 16,000 tons a day, including Metropolitan. Let's say the greater Central Luzon area. We are serving the 160 LGUs, and we're serving up to 5,000 tons of waste per day, which comes to us, it gets disposed. Within a week, just to get an idea, that's a football field 5 stories high. That's the amount of waste we get weekly. No? And now BCDA, I don't know who is the expert there, claims that there is an alternative to our site right now. We're talking about a possible closure in October. And based on numbers of permits, there are 2 facilities which would be able to handle 3,500 tons a day. And there's a new treatment facility which is has not even storage facility or something, which is done for 2,700 tons. But that is on the paper. You have to look what happens in October, if we would close in October. The facility in Porac, honestly, as an international expert, it's unbelievable. It's within the Porac River, within the Lahar stream. It's a small facility. You cannot even properly reach it. in my opinion, they cannot even handle 1,000 tons a day. They claim they handle already 1,000 tons a day. I don't know. The space they have right now under development, which is, again, that's a dump site, that's not a landfill. They have to be a category 4 landfill out of the law, and that means they have to have measures to mitigate environmental impacts. They have mostly nothing of that. It's a whole little bit plastic liner, that's it, everything else. And you can go there and look at it.
So
That's one thing, that's the Porac thing. So capacity to handle less than 1,000 tons. In my opinion, 30 plus years experience in waste management. The second facility is in Florida Blanca. It's a complete different thing. This company there developed a proper facility. There's no question about it. But right now it's very small. They only have a pit area of, I think, 2.5 hectares or something. Their capacity right now, and it's very easy to make it mathematically, you go to Google Earth, look at it, their capacity is less than 150,000 tons right now. This would be filled within 2 months. It's gone, there's no more. And you cannot construct during rainy season. So even we cannot construct. We learned it the hard way, we tried it. You have to put liners in, everything, so there's no way to construct right now. So that facility has a very, very limited volume. They could handle maybe 1,000, 1,500 tons a day, but again, they would be full in 2 months. The third facility, and that's the most, I don't understand anymore when I hear the last public statements from them. It's an area which right now is 7 hectares. They established a so-called automatic segregation plant for waste. What you see up to right now, what you can see from them, it's a sieve and a baling machine. This is everything else than an automated segregation facility to international standards. They claim to can handle 5,000 tons a day.
Yeah, it's
What they installed right now cannot even handle 500 tons a day. We as a company set up more than 30 of automated segregation plants. We know how they look like and what they have to do. They are far away from that. There's no question about it. And what makes me even more concerned is not how they want to do it right now, it's what comes out right now. They want to bale everything, the organic material, but what they want to do with it, they want to store it for future use. What is future use? You have to store 5,000 tons. That means you have to store 2,500 tons a day. Go to our facility and look what it means to handle 2,500 tons a day. They have no storage area for that. And for how long do they want to store that?
Yeah, that's
There
the
is
question.
no facility. They want to store the residuals, again, the leftover, which since 40 years, even in Europe or in the States, nobody figured out what to do with it. They want to store it for future use. In the end of the day, what they create is a landfill just for single wrapped bales. It's like, I don't know if you know the hay bale. They do plastic wrapping around, and then they put it somewhere. This plastic lasts a year or so, then it's gone.
So what was your reaction on the BCDA's decision that your company does not or cannot renew its contract anymore? What was your reaction?
No, our reaction was firstly telling them that they misinterpret their contract and that we have the right, and we still think we have the right to operate the facility for longer. And because of our negotiations with discussions with BCDA and CDC had no outcome, we were forced to send a complaint to the courts, and that is we're waiting now. The judge has to decide what's going on. That's, we have no other way, I think, and we're looking forward to that.
So you have filed a case against...
We filed a case against CDC mainly as our contract partner and BCDA as the authority about CDC.
How do you look this kind of issue? Because obviously we can consider you as foreign investor here in the Philippines. How do you consider this kind of issue, sir, as foreign investor?
Let's say, I don't want to talk to other guys. Let's say I have to invest again.
Yeah.
And as I will tell you, we are ready to set up a waste-to-energy plant. We sent such proposal to BCDA, I think 4 years ago already. And at that time, it is actually fitting their master plan. This investment is more than $200 million. And we are ready to do that. We have partners, we have the financing, everything is clear. We are really ready to do that. Seeing this, my partners will say, we should invest there. Let's think about that again. And I guess every other investor, foreign investor, would do that if he sees that contractual agreements are bended like that. And again, it's business, business-wise, there's always competition. The other more important thing, I think, for the Philippines is the actual environmental impact in the future. And that concerns me nearly more than because I'm pretty sure we will survive, we will get our contract, but it's not just a possible crisis which comes up in October if Clark would be closed. There is another crisis coming up, and I think nobody has it on the notebook right now. You have to understand, in the next 10 to 15 years, this region will generate more than 100 million tons of waste. Even with recycling everything. Population is still growing. It's a main factor for generating waste. It will come every day. Again, 10 years is nothing in waste management. We calculate normally in 25 years terms. 100 million tons, 10 years. Right now, the capacity of all landfills, proper landfills, in this area is less than 30 million tons. Out of the 13 million tons, half of it is Kalangitan, our landfill. If you close that, you're down to less than 15 million tons. So in 2-3 years, a really major waste management crisis will start. Because again, the shown alternatives right now are far away from technical to be able to handle even a part of the amount of waste generated in this area. And I don't know if the information is right. I hear that even the Navotas landfill will close this year. That's another 2,000 to 3,000 tons a day, which has to be solved. The disposal of that.
Now, you have the good feedback from the Filipino people talking about this, your projects under your company. But do you consider this, sir, as a political interest? That's why your company has been prone for not renewing the contract once again. Do you believe that there are some kind of political interest in this kind of project?
I cannot say that. It's very difficult if it's political interest, if it's business interest, or is it misleading design ideas. I know I hear that before, in the new Clark City, it's a new development, a landfill is not good for the new Clark City. If you want today foreign investors getting in, waste management is one of the main requirements. If there's no proper waste management, they will not come. No? I'm working for Asian Development Bank in the whole of Central Luzon all over. It's very, very clear. And to kick out an existing system, which everybody is lucky to have, and to think about and not even have an alternative, just a maybe idea. It's as engineers, from the planning perspective, that's bad planning, very simple. And really, I like to talk technically. It's just simple bad planning.
But they have their alternatives as far as...
they don't have. They have an idea, maybe we're setting up something. But again, their master plan, which makes a lot of sense, up to last year, March, was very clear. They said, we have the Kalangitan landfill, it lasts to 65, and we recommend waste to energy, which we proposed 4 years ago, which they declined this year, after 4 years of checking it.
Do you have any ideas why they declined this kind of proposal towards?
No.
Not at all.
No idea.
All right, so we'll get into the issue of this Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation. But before we end this segment, sorry for a commercial break, do you have a calling for this for designated agencies, to particularly the BCDA or CDC, in terms of your project, or do you have any appeal for them?
No, my main question is, I told you before, there are some agencies saying there are 5,000 tons, 3,000 tons, 6,000 tons available capacity. The only department in the Philippines which actually has the capacity to rectify these numbers is the DNR. And I'm still waiting for a statement of DNR confirming that there are 5 or 11,000, up to 11,000 tons capacity, and then it's the responsibility of the DNR to stick to that, or to tell us what DNR is thinking, what is the actual capacity of the facilities discussed for the area.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Holger Holst, ladies and gentlemen, the Technical Director of Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation. We will be staying with here later in this program, but we have to take a commercial break, just a little while.
We at Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation aim to provide the solutions through our engineered sanitary landfill that offers a viable and sustainable solution to the growing waste problem of the country. A 100-hectare facility located within the Clark Special Economic Zone, some 80 kilometers from Metro Manila. It integrates engineering and innovative technology from Germany, a world leader in waste management. Metro Clark Sanitary Landfill has multiple layers of liners to prevent leachates from seeping into the groundwater. It is the only garbage disposal facility with such multi-layer protection for the aquifers. Without it, trash will contaminate the aquifers, which provide a large part of the community's water supply. MCWM adheres to internationally accepted standards and is the only waste management company that fully complies with RA 9003, the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. For one, we use a 2.5 millimeter thick high-density polyethylene material when the DENR only requires a 1.5 millimeter liner. It also comes with recycling facility and treatment mechanisms for leachates and gases produced from waste to prevent soil, water, and air pollution. The leachate treatment facility is able to clean the liquid drained from the landfill in a natural way by using reed plants. It is one of Asia's first sanitary landfills to receive 3 ISO certifications, a testament to its being world-class, efficient, and environmentally sustainable.
MCWM already is, I think, the only landfill in the Philippines which is ISO certified. So in this way we are basically on the same level like the Europe landfills, which is pretty much good, I think.
The facility is well positioned to serve the waste management needs of more cities and municipalities.
I hope that not just us but others will pick up the idea so that every place in the Philippines should become serviced with proper waste disposal services.
At Metro Clark, we make a living by what we get, and in return, we make a life by what we can also give. At the same time, Metro Clark has also generated several job opportunities for the surrounding communities. Our goal? Waste equals more opportunities. Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation is also the first to introduce the first waste-to-energy facility in Asia. Rather than escaping into the atmosphere and producing odor, gas byproduct from the landfill is recovered and burned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is now in the process of stabilizing the system.
Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation is not only providing an effective and efficient waste management solution. In the process, it is protecting public health and the environment from the impact of poorly managed wastes from unregulated dump sites, bringing the Philippines to the next phase of proper disposal of waste, and set the bar high for waste management in the Philippines. Innovative, secure, efficient, environmentally sound. Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation, a world-class sanitary landfill.
Alright, nagbabalik ang programang special coverage ng Euro TV Philippines sa Typhoon Karina at para po sa kalam na ba, no, ito pong sitwasyon ng NLEX Balintawak na ba, unti-unti na po itong nadadaanan ng mga tao. At the same time, yung paghupa ng baha ay talaga naman pong mapapakinabangan na po itong kahabaan ng NLEX. At siyempre, bandang huli, kanina lang, no, binuksan na po yung kabilang banda ng mga madadaanan ng mga motorista sa ilang bahagi ng NLEX at dineklara na rin po ng DILG ang under the state of calamity ang Bataan, Bulacan, Batangas at ang Cavite. Siyempre sa kabila ng dulot ng bagyong ito, itong Central Luzon, no, dahan-dahanin po talagang sila ho ay naging problema. Yung sobrang pagbaha, yung sobrang hindi kayang-kayanin ng mga drainage natin, yung buhos ng ulan na talagang itinatapon ng ating ulan. Siguro dahil ito sa hindi tamang pagtatapon ng basura. Actually, very timing itong ating bisita for today sapagkat gaano ba kahalaga, especially sa Luzon, pag nawalan tayo ng tamang pagtatapunan ng basura kasi napaka-importante. Isa ho sa mainit na pinag-uusapan to, hindi lang yung pogo dyan sa Kapas Tarlac, dapat to pag-usapan din po natin yung gaano kaimportante, hindi lang yung pagpapalaki ng mga drainage natin, yung cladding, yung pagtatapunan sapagkat pag hindi ho tayo nakapagtapon ng basura, mamamaho ang buong Central Luzon. At the same time, yung problema sa basura sa bawat municipality ay magdudulot ng sakit. Ayan, usong-uso pa naman ang dengue ngayon. Pag-uusapan po natin ngayong araw, makakasama po natin ang Government Relation and Political Affairs ng Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation, si Rafael Yolora. Sir, magandang hapon po sa iyo.
Magandang hapon sa lahat. At once again, thank you for having us and joining you in this program.
Siguro sir, diretsong usapan na kasi alam naman natin na itong inyong Kalangitan landfill, sabi ng ilan, magsasara na this coming October. Alam naman natin, napakahalaga ng pinagtatapunan ng basura ng mahigit 100, how many cities, sir?
160 LGUs.
60. Kung sakali, sir, magsasara itong Kalangitan landfill, ano magiging epekto at dulot nito sa mamayang Pilipino, especially sa ating kalusugan?
Well, number one, pag pinasara ito ng lubusan, talagang ang problema is saan itatapon ng basura.
Yeah.
Kasi there are no facilities that is compliant with the DNR's regulation and regulatory certificates. We are the only one, Metro Clark Waste Management is the only compliant facility in the Philippines. No. Now, if we close down, shut down, enforce the unreasonableness of shutting down this facility, it will proliferate a lot of landfills being a site where basura itatapon ng kahit sino-sino na lang. So that will be a risk, a health risk kasi and then currently we are experiencing flooding in Metro Manila because it's also one factor that we have to remember. Waste is one source of the flooding in Metro Manila. And just to add, from the ADB studies of 2013, there is a documentation that suggests at least 1,200 tons of waste daily in Metro Manila is thrown in the Manila Bay area. So that explains our flooding.
Pero sir, gano'n na katagal itong inyong landfill? Kasi parang ang usapin dito, mahigit 160 municipalities na ibig sabihin talagang napakahalaga na meron tayong pinagtatapunan ng basura. Gano'n ba katagal to at ano naging dulot ng pagpapasara doon? Kasi kung titignan natin, kung pag-aaralan natin, isa sa mga panukala ng ating Pangulo, priority ng ating Pangulo, na bigyan ng proper disposal yung ating mga ospital. Di ba? Nakita natin naging epekto ng hindi pagtatapon ng mga ospital doon sa mga ilog, nagdudulot to ng sakit at hindi magandang kalusugan sa mga mamamayan. Nagkaroon tayo ng proper disposal, ngayon naman pinasasara. So pwede ba natin malaman, sir, ano ang pinaka main reason kung bakit ito ba may kaugnayan dun sa mga oligarko? Ano bang dahilan nito, sir?
Well, ang tingin ko, based sa kanilang mga statements na pinahayag, BCDA wanted to develop the area to enhance its investments in the industry of hospitality,
Yes.
casinos, resorts, and all that. And with the promise, and golf course, and with the promise of high yield of employment, which could be true. But the question really here is, why are we suspending
Yes.
or interrupting a system that is working to create more problems?
Yeah.
No? So yun lang naman ang gusto kong maliwanagan. But in fairness to the agencies that I have approached personally, DOH have initiated investigation on this matter because I think Secretary Herbosa is very keen and aware on the risks and benefits of having this facility and not having it at the same time.
Pero sir, di ba, alam naman natin yan na isa sa mga pangunahin ng Pangulo, yung pangangalaga doon sa climate change. So sabi nila, ang bawat municipality, ang bawat mayor, inuutusan nila na magkaroon ng paghahanda at pangangalaga doon sa climate sapagkat sa pagbabago ng panahon. Ngayon, itong mga sinabi mo kanina, parang magkakaroon ng mga developing at the same time, hindi ba pogo ang kalagay rito? Para at least, kasi alam naman natin na isa sa mga kinalabanan ng Pangulo yung pagkalat. Baka kasi ang point lang natin dito mga kaibigan, baka yung pagbabago nito, magkukuha sa mga lupang to ay hindi maging makakalikasang estrahiya ay mangyayari, nakaka-apekto to sa mga mayang Pilipino. Sa tingin ba natin, sir, itong mga nagsusulong ng developing dyan sa area, hindi makakalikasan?
Sa tingin ko, kasi iba-ibang level ang ating commitment sa kalikasan or
Yes.
sa anuman advocacy.
Pero
ang ating-
importante to kasi pagtatapon
Absolutely.
ng proper disposal na nga natin to.
I believe the priorities of the agencies are misplaced. So whether they are for or against environment,
Yeah.
their priorities are misplaced.
Hindi ba nabigyan ng o tinimbang to na gaano kahalaga itong Kalangitan landfill doon sa pinopropose nila na ilalagay nila rito?
I think it's fair to say that the government agencies, particularly BCDA, sees the value of Metro Clark Waste Management in the solution of
Yes.
our waste management in the Philippines. But because they are doing it so successfully, they wanted to be part of it, if not take over it.
Siguro dapat pag-usapan to doon sa national government kasi alam naman natin na hindi biro yung mahigit 160 municipalities na mawawalan ng pagkatapunan ng basura. Alam naman natin yan, isa sa mga problema ng ating bayan, yung walang matatapunan. At the same time, ang nakakalungkot isipin dito, ilan na mawawalan ng hanap buhay dito?
I believe we have at least 300 to 400 employees.
Yeah.
And we also have, of course, as we speak, our team, Metro Clark Waste Management, is delivering aid and rescue operations in the central Luzon area of all the LGUs that we are partnering with. So tumutulong kami sa mga sakunang
Yes,
kagaya nito.
oh.
So lahat sila mawawalan din ng benepisyo. Lahat sila kasi may nagpapaaral po din sila ng
Yes.
mga tao, ng mga bata, may mga scholars din sila. So we also provide a portion of the land where people, farmers can till the land, and we help them in the trade of the crops that they are planting and harvesting.
Pero sir, sa kabuuan, ito naman inyong ay sumusunod naman to doon sa mga compliance na hinihingi ng gobyerno.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Non si piove, we say it in Italy. Every single certificates has been issued by the department. In fact, I believe there are two ISOs or three ISOs that have been issued proving the efficiency of the management of this company and its treatment of the people in terms of their safety and health.
So sumusunod tayo.
Sumusunod po.
Alright. So
Sumusunod
kasi
po
sir,
tayo.
alam naman natin, sabi mo nga, ito ay ano na bang narating nito? Kasi after na magpagbibigay ng parang deadline hanggang October na lang, no? Saan na to nakarating, sir? Meron na ba kayong mga apila sa Senate, sa Supreme Court, especially yung anuman agency nakakasakop dito para maglabas sila ng temporary order na, teka lang, napaka-importante to. Saan to? Handa na ba tayo kung sakali isasara natin to? Saan natin tatapon to mga tulad-tulad ng mga basura?
Okay. I'll try to answer all those 4 or 5 questions in 1 minute.
Go ahead, sir.
Number one, saan itatapon? I think earlier our chairman and technical director explained that there are two facilities or areas that they wanted to consider it as an alternative. But in a quick statement, these are not qualified areas. Number two, saan na ito nakarating? Nakarating na po ito dahil ang mga mayors at mga tao sa Central Luzon, I think sumulat na sa Senado and naibigay ito sa Senador kay Mr. Senator Raffy Tulfo, who is now, I believe, the chairman on public services. So these issues of solid waste management falls into his committee. So I believe there are initiatives already being done, and hopefully this can be resolved both off the court or if not inside the court.
Pero sa ano pa rin, patuloy pa rin yung inyong operation sa pagtatapon ng basura.
Patuloy po
pa
kahit
rin.
patuloy po kahit bumabagyo, pero ngayon po these past 2 days Metro Clark has been very busy in handing rescue operations and aid to the people of Central and Northern Luzon.
Sir, laliman natin ng konti kasi alam natin hindi lang pala basura ang tinatapon dito, no? Yung mga disposable waste ng mga ospital, dito rin din. Ito lang ba ang tapunan ng mga ospital sa buong Pilipinas?
Ito lang po ang certified facility that can accommodate medical waste in the entire country.
So, ibig sabihin, pag ito ay pinasara, malaki ang magiging crisis natin, hindi lang sa basura, pati yung mga ospital, baka kung saan-saan lang itapon.
I am not surprised why the Department of Health have responded positively to our plea to look into this matter. And therefore, they are now have initiated their own investigation on this
So
issue.
malaking usapin pala to. So hindi lang to usapin ng inyong kalangitan lang. Usapin to ng DOH, usapin to ng DENR.
DILG, DENR. Nakakalungkot lang po kasi ang DENR parang walang
Aksyon.
interest. No? Siguro busy si Secretary Loizaga sa iba't ibang malalaking kumpanya na naghahangad ng kanyang presensya. Pero kami naman po, Secretary, hindi po kami ang kaaway. Kami po ay kakampi nyo sa pag-solve ng solusyon ng ating problema sa ating kalikasan. Kaya sana panawagan namin sa inyo, Secretary Loizaga, ay pakinggan nyo naman po kami.
So hindi ba ito pwede pag-usapan sa Kongreso? Kasi napaka-importante ng usapin na to. No? Hindi to usapin lang ng simpleng basura o simpleng pagtatapon. Usapin to ng pangkalusugan ng pangkalahatan. No? Hindi ba ito pwedeng ilagay sa Senado, sa Kongreso, pag-usapan sa Kongreso na gaano kahalaga itong Kalangitan landfill na to?
I think kakabukas lang ng 19th session, again, nag-resume after the SONA of the President. I believe there are, again, initiatives that are on play both in the houses of Congress and the Senate.
So pwede kasi ang ating kaibigan na talaga nagtatanggol sa kalikasan, itong si TGP Party List Congressman Jose Bong Tebes, talagang ang kanyang layunin ay protektahan siyempre yung ating kalikasan, siyempre yung kalusugan ng tao. Kasi kung mawawala to, nakakatakot isipin, no? Kung ang pagsasara nito ay ang pagiging dahilan ng pagiging mabaho ng Central Luzon. Yung pong problema natin dito, yung pong mga ospital, doon ako nag-worry eh. Hindi natin alam kung anong pwedeng mangyari. At the same time, anong magiging maganda. Kasi punong-puno tayo ng sakit. May COVID na tayo, mayroon pa tayong dengue. Plus, pa nagsara pa to, ano na mangyayari sa atin?
Another pandemic na naman tayo niyan.
So, siguro isang panawagan, mas maganda siguro ito ay diretsong panawagan na sa Pangulo. Kasi kung titignan natin, sabi mo nga, no action si Secretary, parang hindi tumitingin o hindi bumabalanse, tumitimbang doon sa issue ng usapin na to. No, mukhang tumitingin doon sa bigat lang ng transaksyon. Alam naman natin yan, no? Ako, as a media, para sa akin, napaka-inutil na hindi niya sagutin yung ganitong problema. Ang hindi iniisip ng kapakanan ng mga Pilipino, ang iniisip niya, yung mga investor na para sa pansarili lang kanilang kagustuhan.
Yes. Ako naman, on behalf of Metro Clark, we are not trying to tell them what to do. No?
Yes.
All we are saying is, hear us out, Secretary, and if the Secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources is not welcoming our pleas, I am now directly addressing our Mr. President. I have asked you several times as well before your SONA and during your SONA, and now I'm here again, Mr. President Bongbong Marcos. please look into this matter, and hopefully we can work and collaborate together to help fulfill all your points of interest to ensure that ang bagong Pilipinas ay totoong bagong Pilipinas.
Yes, bagong Pilipinas sa bagong pangangalaga ng ating kalikasan.
Tama po yun,
Importante.
tama.
Kasi ang maganda lang dito, balikan lang din natin, sir, no? Sabi mo doon sa kabuuan ng mga nagtatapon dyan, yung 160 municipality, lahat ba ng mayor pabor dito?
Lahat po sila, ang alam ko, sumulat
Sumulat.
at pumirma at attesting their support to keep it open. Now, Mr. I'd like to talk directly to the President right
Yeah.
now. No, Mr. President, all these LGUs and Secretary Abalos and DNR Secretary Loizaga, all these LGUs, you have asked them and given them the mandate to take care of the environment, and we have a solution to that. And now, with the looming closure of this facility that is the only compliant facility, you are giving the LGUs bigger problems where all the other energies they have could be converted into public service.
Yes.
And this problem on solid waste is already handled by effective institution such as Metro Clark. So again, nananawagan po kami, ako sa tatlong agencies, the DNR, DILG, and to you, Mr. President. Kami po ay katuwang ninyo sa pag-ahon ng Pilipino at dito sa kalikasan ang aming pangako na kami ay patuloy na magtatrabaho at maghihikayat na gawin ang tama.
So, kakampi nyo ang gobyerno rito?
Kakampi po dapat namin ang gobyerno, hindi po kaaway.
Yes, siguro diretso sa presidente to. Kasi kung titignan natin yung panawagan mo tatlo pa, kung ang Pangulo ay makakarating sa kanya yung ganitong usapin, alam naman natin na pangunahing programa ng Pangulo, yung climate change yung pangangalaga. No? Kasi doon tayo tumataya. Usapin kasi ng climate change to na maglalagay lang tayo ng isang mga pribadong mga kumpanya dyan kung ano ang ilalagay dyan, tapos maapektuhan yung mga mamayang Pilipino, yung kalusugan natin. Hindi ho atatama yun.
Tama po yun kasi ang Metro Clark is already tested. It's for 25 years. It's been efficiently working, no violations.
Yeah.
And again, really my question is purely pragmatic
Sa
and
community,
practical.
wala tayong reklamo.
Wala po.
Oh,
wala po. Ako,
Malinis talaga tayo doon.
wala pong problema doon sa mga community.
Sir, sinong kumpanya ang may plano mag-develop ng lugar na to?
Well, again, this is all based on the public statements which is available publicly. I think Prime Infrastructure owned by Mr. Enrique Razon and his colleagues are interested into the managing or competing in the business of solid waste management. But other than that, I cannot make any speculations.
Kasi kaya ko naman tinanong, baka ito ay hindi na pag-aralan ng mga ilan lang na yung mga namumuno dito. Kasi alam naman natin lahat ng mga pribadong may-ari ng kumpanya, yung mga mayayaman, alam naman natin yung pabor yan pagdating sa kalikasan at sa kalusugan ng tao. Baka may mga ilan lang itong mga tao na hindi nasabi na may ganito tayong facility na ganong ka-importanting sanitary landfill, baka malaman, diretso natin iparating to sa pamunuan ng management na maglalagay dyan. Baka maintindihan niya na, teka lang, baka may maapakan tayo mga tao rito at baka may mga tao hindi magkaroon ng malaking problema, matauhan, hindi ituloy.
Sa tingin ko po, tama yung accurate yung inyong description because to suddenly close with 3 months left, and it's a thoughtless, mindless initiative of the agency of the government to suggest a forced closure for no reason whatsoever. I think Metro Clark is a responsible business entity where they welcome competition. But I think we have to understand that in business, this is a free country. So let everybody execute their businesses equally. Give us an equal share of the economy so that we can also address social issues such as the environment. Pero kung ibibilang lang sa mga close tight circles, then we will have a big problem.
Kasi ang malaking problema dito, yung pagtugon ng binabanggit mo ng government agencies na bigyan ng pabor to kaysa dun sa ating kalikasan at sa tao, medyo may problema tayo dyan. Baka pwede natin tignan ano bang agreement nyo dyan o baka meron kayong under the table na pag-uusap. Kasi kung titignan natin, dapat ang pinaprioridad ng ating mga government agencies yung kapakanan ng taong bayan, yung kalusugan ng taong bayan. At the same time, yung ating kalikasan, yung mga tao na alam natin na mayroon trabaho pala dyan. At the same time, sumusunod naman kayo sa compliance na hinihingi ng gobyerno. I think, sir, meron ba itong political issue or may sa tingin natin palakasan system? Ayaw ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos yan.
Ang alam ko, sabi ng Pangulo, sabay-sabay tayong babangon muli,
Yes, oo.
sabay-sabay tayong aasenso, pero sa tingin ko, hindi nabibigyan ng pansin ang majority ng ating mga business sectors who are contributing to the economy of the country. So the politics will always be there.
Yeah.
I think we cannot argue against it anymore. It's there. But there must be some way to solve this issue where it's a win-win solution.
Yes.
It's really tiring when you see it in front of you. You know this very
Yeah,
well, no?
oo.
In politics, there's always a one-sided that goes favorably to them, and you get very little. And what else can we do for this little amount? When we have 400 employees,
Yeah.
we have 2,000 beneficiaries, and we have these and we have all that CSRs.
Yes.
So how can we do business?
Exactly. Ako ang kinakatakot ko rito yung nagiging long-term na magiging epekto nito.
Yes, I believe Mr.
Nakakatakot, no?
Yes,
Oo.
Mr. Holger. People don't talk about this,
Yeah.
but Mr. Holger mentioned earlier that there's in the next 5-10 years there will be a 10 million tons a day of waste. Where are we going to bring that? Maybe we won't be around here anymore, but to the young people around us who are
Sila
who
ang
are here,
magsasuffer dyan.
they will suffer. So
Yeah.
if we cannot find a fixed solution now, how else do you think the young generation will find a solution?
Nakakatakot.
Sobra.
Nakakatakot. At ang mahirap dito, pinapaboran ng ilang mga government agency na merong dapat may malasakit sa tao at sa kalikasan, ay pumapabor dun sa mga ilan lamang.
Yes. Yes.
Nakakalungkot. Siguro isang magandang panawagan to na bigyan ng diin ng pagbubukas ng Senado at Kongreso. Pag-usapan to, no, ilip muna yung suspension na binibigay dito, yung pagkasara, at saka nating upuan. Ano bang problema? Bakit kailangan ipasara to na pinakikinabangan ng bayan at ng gobyerno? No, nakakalungkot isipin, pero siguro mas maganda bigyan tugon to ng ating bagong Senate President na si Senator Chis Escudero. Pag-usapan, bigyan ng diin. Kasi hindi to usapin lang ng Metro Clark, no? Usapin to ng...
This is a national issue.
Yes, this is a
No.
national issue kasi doon natin tinatapon yung mga hospital.
Hospital waste,
Waste, diba?
household waste.
Napaka-importante niyan, no? So siguro bigyan ng prioridad ng kung hindi man naririnig ng ating Pangulo, siguro ang ating Senate President at ng ating Speaker Martin Romualdez, ito ho ay usapin ng hindi lang ng Central Luzon o ng Luzon, usapin po ito ng pangkalahatan. Tandaan po natin ang epekto ng walang matapunan ng mga basura, ito ay kasiraan ng ating ekonomiya.
Tama po yan.
Oo.
Tama po yan.
Nakakalungkot. So, sige sir, lastly sir, bago tayo bumalik, anong panawagan natin doon sa ating Pangulo? Nasabi mo na kanina, again, baka nakikinig na.
Yes. Once again, nananawagan po kami. Simulan ko po sa opisina ni Senator Chis Escudero, the Speaker of the House. Bicolano man po ako, Tabi, Manoy.
Baka usapin mo ng Bicol, baka sakali. Oh.
Baka madangog po nindo sa aming ansamuyang hinanakit sa sitwasyon na ini. Pakinggan nyo rin po ang aming hinaing. As a business entity, we also are relying to the support of politicians like yourselves. And to you, Mr. President, Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation is a partner of the government in solving our environmental issue. So please have a look and let's talk and see how we can make the Filipinos proud of your leadership.
Alright, siguro ako, mas maganda kung konti na lang po ang ating sanitary landfill sa Pilipinas. Pag hindi pa ho natin ito binigyan ng prioridad, baka yung basura natin, export pa natin. No, nakakalungkot. Isipin sa totoo lang po nakakalungkot diyan. Konti na lang po ang ating sanitary landfill na mga ganitong klase. pag-iinitan pa ng mga ilan na nabigyan ng magandang posisyon sa gobyerno para lang sa kanilang personal na hindi nating masabi kung ito may personal di umano na may interim na usapan na agreement, ito ba merong lagay, natin masabi. Pero ang nakakalungkot kung isa kang Pilipino at sumusunod ka dun sa bagong Pilipinas ng ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, tutugon ka doon sa nakakarami.
Tama po yun.
The majority, no?
Exactly.
Oo.
And we cannot deny na yung mga sinabi ninyo, those are all possible scenarios, no? Kaya I think we have to address this squarely around the table, and wala na pong dapat aksayahin na oras.
Wala na dapat na aksayin na oras. Siguro diretsong tugunan. Actually, kung ito ay man naririnig ng ating Pangulo sa Office of the President, mas maganda ipatawag na to this week, no? Upuan. Kasi ang kailangan naman ng Pangulo to konkretong paliwanag, konkretong eksplanasyon, gaano kahalaga, at yung epekto nito sa habang panahon pag ito ay nasara.
Tama po yun. But since we are already towards the week ding, baka matugunan ito next week. So, umaasa po kami sa Office of the President na marinig po ang aming mga hinaing kay Senator Tulfo, Senator Speaker, Senate President Chis Escudero, at sa mga kinakaukulan ng ahensya ng DNR. Handa po kami makinig sa inyo, handa po kami makipag-usap sa inyo, at ayusin po natin ang ating sistema, ang ating issue, upang sa ganon ay maging katuwang po kami sa inyong mga ahensya na maayos ang ating bayan, ang ating Pilipinas na ating minamahal.
Pero sir, nagkaroon na ba kayo ng pag-uusap under the DNR? Napatawag na ba kayo?
Hindi po, pero nag-communicate kami. We send letters. All the LGUs also have sent letters.
Walang patawag?
Walang patawag.
Aba, kakaiba. May
In fact,
kababalaghang nangyayari dyan. Kasi dapat po, hindi naman po siya nagmamarunong tayo. Ang parehas na pagtingin sa mga ganitong klaseng issue ng lipunan, dapat to, kinukuha ho natin yung consensus na nakakarami. Kinukuha ho natin yung consensus ng mga local official kung ito ba'y nakakabuti o hindi. Kung ano ho nakakarami at consensus, dapat doon ho tayo tumataya. Huwag ho natin tatayaan lang yung pansarili lang po natin na ilalagay sa ating masakit isipin. Ito, matagal ng sakit ng lipunan to. Yung nilalagay lang sa bulsa, yun lang mas mahalaga kaysa doon sa kapakanan o yung mahabang magiging epekto nito sa tao.
Tama po yan.
Oo.
A personal experience with DNR is I've visited the agency 3 or 4 times, and I successfully crossed the entrance of the office.
No, wala sila talagang
Wala, hindi sila-
binabaliwala talaga
Oo,
nila.
And then I waited at the lobby for 4 hours to get an answer.
Well, siguro
Ganun.
dapat talagang pakilaman na to ng actually ang trabaho kasi ng maging media, maging susi o pinto doon sa mga usapin na to. Siguro mas maganda magkaroon ng magandang diin to ng ating mga kapatid na media na para kunin, kami na ang kukuha ng side nila, sir, para baka sakali may maganda silang sagot, baka nila pinapasara to.
Siguro po, kung sino po ang line natin is, I work with them, and so, again, umaasa pa rin tayo sa DENR na matugunan at sa Office of the President na maging maganda ang maging solusyon, ang konklusyon ng issue na ito. Kasi why exhaust the funds of the government, the judiciary system, if we can solve the issues right here? But, some people and agencies are, I wish I could say more, but due to the time restraint, I still am hopeful na this will be resolved with some sense of reason and practical and common sense.
Ayun nga, wala silang magandang dahilan para ipasara to eh.
As of now, we are
Wala.
are unaware of any reasonable cause for enforcing a closure of this facility.
Kung sana kung may mga violation o reklamo, sabi mo nga, nabanggit mo kanina, wala. At talagang ito yung nakakatulong pa sa mga mayang Pilipino.
Okay po. Lahat po kasi kami, lahat ng ginagawa namin, especially ng aming Executive Vice President, she always coordinate with local agencies and national agencies to ensure that all our practices are within the law. So we really cannot find any reason that we may have violated any guidelines or laws of the agencies.
Alright, kasama po natin ngayon si Kuya Rafael, ang Government Relation and Political Affairs ng Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation. Magbabalik po tayo sa ilang sandali po lamang.
It integrates engineering and innovative technology from Germany, a world leader in waste management. Metro Clark Sanitary Landfill has multiple layers of liners to prevent leachates from seeping into the groundwater. It is the only garbage disposal facility with such multi-layer protection for the aquifers. Without it, trash will contaminate the aquifers, which provide a large part of the community's water supply. MCWM adheres to internationally accepted standards and is the only waste management company that fully complies with RA 9003, the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. For one,
Nagbabalik po ang EuroTV Live dito lamang sa EuroTV Philippines at kasama po rin po natin ngayong hapon ang mga panahing pandangal mula sa Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation. Sir Danny, nagkaroon kayo ng mas magandang pag-uusap patungkol sa mga hinaing itong Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation kung saan nailathala naman nila, na-broadcast naman kung anong kanilang panawagan, even yung puntong nais silang paimbestigahan, willing sila na umupo sa Kongreso at sa Senado upang talakayin at pag-usapan ang kanilang posisyon pagdating sa pagpapasara ng kanilang kumpanya.
Well, actually tayo naman mga media, Alvin, alam naman natin yan. Hindi naman tayo minsan talaga timitingin kung ano yung dapat natin tingnan. Ang pinaka-importante kasi natin dito, katulad ng sinabi ni Mr. Rafael na ano yung susunod na henerasyon na kanilang mamanahin pagdating dito sa usapin ng kalikasan. Napaka-importante nito sapagkat sabi ko nga kanina, hindi lang tao ang pinag-uusapan nito, yung kalusugan ng tao. Sapagkat kung titignan natin, nag-iisa lang pala itong tapunan ng ating mga hospital waste management na talagang ito ay naging, kung naalala mo, Alvin, ito naging isang mainit na pinag-uusapan to, yung isang ospital, diretso sa ilog tinatapon yung mga nakukuha nila sa so naging nakamagandang epekto sa kalikasan. Kaya napakahalaga nitong Metro Clark Waste Management na mayroong tumatanggap ng ganitong klaseng disposable, especially sa mga ospital.
It was just so amazing na ginagawa ng foreign-owned company yung ganitong uri ng programa na nandito sa Pilipinas. Pero sabi to say, medyo inaatake ng political interest, no? At kumbaga, ang sabi na lang nila, wala tayong magawa dito sa Pilipinas pero at the end of the day, there should be a win-win solution regarding this program.
Ayaw ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos yan. Yung ganyan may mga palakasan system, yung interest lang ng mga nakakarami, no? Yung interest, kasi nakakalungkot isipin kung ang interest lang ng mga pribadong kumpanya para magtayo lang sila ng gantong klaseng mga building, maapektuhan naman yung ating tao at yung mamayang Pilipino. Pag nakarating sa Pangulo to, malamang, papaano to, papaimbestigahan to, hindi to papayagan ng, madala na tayo. Kasi maraming beses na nangyayari, katulad Alvin, dyan sa may Rizal Park, di ba, nakapagtayo ng building dyan na against pala yan sa batas ng ating institusyon. Kung naging controversial siya, no? So, ito ay usapin lang, hindi lang ng iilan. Sabi nga ni Mr. Rafael, usapin to, o national issue to sapagkat ang nakasalalay rito yung kalusugan ng mamamayang Pilipino.
One of my takeaway on this discussion, Chairman, itong panawagan sana nila or
Yes.
apila doon sa kontra company na kumo-question sa kanila at hindi na nagpaparenew ng kanilang kontrata is yung apila sana nila na mag-isa na lang o magsanib puwersa para at least para din sa kapakanan ng ating mga kababayan, pero at the end of the day merong some kind of interest na kakaiba in this
Alright,
project.
speaking of apila, baka meron silang diretsong panawagan sa Pangulo. Although na kanina nanawagan na si Mr. Rafael. Go ahead, Sir Alvin.
Right. For Sir Holger Holst, sir, would you mind to appeal for the national government? Of course, we are talking about the renewal that we all wanted for your company specifically.
Yeah, okay. It's not a renewal, and I would like to state also, Metro Clark Waste Management is not a foreign company. It's a Philippine company with a 40% foreign shareholder. So it's really a Filipino company. And in general, that's maybe all the involved people in government and private businesses. Challenge of waste management in the next 10 to 20 years is very hard.
Yeah.
I don't talk about competitors, I talk about colleagues. We need them. I told you, we can only serve a part of it. There still needed more capacity in the next very near future, next 20 years. And so long as common sense will prevail, we will find a solution. But it needs common sense. And in the moment, that's slightly missing, unfortunately.
All right.
All right, Sir Rafael, what are your hopes regarding, of course, andun na yung kaso, pero do you still have the hopes na makikipag-usap sa inyo yung pamunan ng BCDA to discuss kung ano na lang yung magiging take ninyo for both sides para at least mapanatili ang inyong company and of course your operations?
Personally speaking, I have my hopes. I never run out of hopes for myself. But I wish to engage agencies of the government actively, participate actively, and not be passive on the issues that affects common Filipinos. Because this is a common issue, a common problem.
Right.
Hindi porket hindi nakikita, because waste, basura, hindi natin nakikita eh. Wala. As soon as I'm done with the wrappings of my gifts or my chocolates, I don't care anymore. That's not my problem anymore. We have to change that attitude. In fact, I said in this interview before, we don't have a climate issue. Our attitudinal issue, if not resolved with common sense, will result to a climate change issue. So why do we need to get there if we can change it right here?
Right.
So in the same way, why do we have to change a system that is working? Show us that it's not working, and maybe we can find solution. But as of today, we are compliant. We follow the guidelines. We pay our taxes. We pay our people right. There's no reason for such a closure. So again, umaapila ako sa ating presidente na kami po, Metro Clark Waste Management, is a partner. We are not an enemy, we are not a competitor, but we are your collaborator in addressing environmental issues.
All right. Thank you, sir. Our worries is, of course, it's less than or 2 months around before October. Now, what are your next steps for the last? Of course, once again, our worries last 2 months. What are going to be your steps in terms of course, to push through the continuing operations of this company? Do you have plans to sit down with the DNR and other government agencies?
In the first place, as our understanding, our contract is valid. We are still the lessee of this property for the next at least 25 years. And right now it's status quo. So we will operate as daily as it goes on. And only the court could stop us or would stop us right now. The agencies, we filed the complaint. It has to be decided in the courts. And we are pretty sure that the law is on our side in this regard. Because the basics for all the discussions like BOT law, they don't even apply here. No? And insofar, we are ready, we will operate, we will not stop operating before somebody really, by law, will stopping us.
Sir Rafael.
Metro Clark Waste Management continues
Hold on.
Ay, sorry.
No, wait.
Hello.
Right.
Yes. So as I was saying, Metro Clark Waste Management continues its commitment to deliver the services that we've been doing for the past 25 years to all our business partners. And we will not disappoint you because we are confident that the law is on our side, and we, as already mentioned by our technical director and chairman, is that only the courts can ask us to cease our operation.
Yeah.
But insofar as our service contract is concerned, it is valid and it will continue for the next 25 years. However, there are many initiatives that are on play. There's the court, there's the legal, there's the legislative, there's the common sense. So let's see which of these three will succeed and work.
Okay, pero siguro mas maganda bigyan agad to ng aksyon ng gobyerno kasi nakakatakot. Actually, isang malaking dilemma to pagka nagkataon.
Dr. Danny, naalala niyo ba in 1990s or early 2000 when lorries or trucks in hundreds were along EDSA and Rojas Boulevard because they have no place to throw? Kasi simultaneously pinasara ang Payatas, Montalban.
At saka yung sa Manila.
Yes.
Smoky
So all Smoky Mountain. So all these three simultaneously were closed. So nowhere to go. And they were the trucks are all in the highways.
Eh yung nangyari sa Rizal.
Yes.
Yung damo sa ito, di ba pinasara?
5 meters high and
Diba?
C5.
Nagkaroon ng mahabang pila yung mga dump truck dahil wala
tama
silang
yan.
matatapunan ng tamang basura. Ba't mauulit ito?
Mauulit po yan pag hindi
Mauulit
natin
to.
inaksyonan.
Mas malaki pa.
Sobra.
Yeah, nakakatakot. Kaya binabanggit ko lagi kong sinasabi, nakakatakot sapagkat kung ang gobyerno ay hindi titingin doon sa tama at hindi nagtitingin sa nakakarami, anong gobyerno meron tayo?
Isa pang tanong.
Nakakalungkot, di ba? Dapat ang bayan, ang kalikasan ng prioridad natin, hindi ang mga negosyanteng sisira lamang pagdating sa kalikasan at kalusugan ng taong bayan.
Tama po yun. Kasi the result of this inefficiency of our agencies responding to a crisis is the flooding. Now, we saw it for the past 48 hours.
Yes.
It's horrible. It's frightening.
Yeah.
So, pag hindi natin talaga inaksyonan, this is already a preempt of what could come if we don't do anything about it now.
I think siguro maraming awareness, no? Ipaalam natin sa gobyerno at sa mga government agency yung magiging dulot ng epekto nito. Siguro, sir, kung inyong papahintulutan, no, mas maganda magkaroon din ng proper investigation ng Euro TV News. Mag-imbestiga kami, kunin namin yung panig ng mga involved dito. Baka meron talaga silang magandang dahilan o baka naman walang dahilan, makuha lang ho namin. Mas maimportante malaman ng taong bayan. Kasi kung ang binabanggit natin dito ay maaapektuhan taong bayan, pag nalaman nila na may ganito palang pagsasara, baka taong bayan na mag-alsa.
We welcome your initiative,
Yes,
Dr. Danny.
Yeah, thank you.
And just for the record, you volunteered to do that.
Yes, so-
And we are not instigating you to do so because alam mo na, we are also under attack.
Yes.
That we are, paying people to say what they wanted to say. So again, thank you for your initiative.
Para sa kapakanan ng taong bayan at para sa kalusugan ng taong bayan. Siyempre, para sa kalikasan, Alvin. No?
Yes, of course.
Alright, so maraming salamat at medyo overtime na tayo. O megit isang oras na tayo nagpo-programa. Hindi kasi pag ganitong usapin, Alvin, alam naman natin, katatapos lang ng solo ng Pangulo, although hindi nabanggit ng Pangulo to, pero tayo mga mamayang Pilipino, yung nangyayari ngayon, yung sobrang pagbaha, nakita natin yung naging epekto at dulot nito. Maraming mga Pilipino ang nasira ang bahay. Tapos sabi nila, parang hindi handa ang mga local government sa ganitong klaseng bagyo. What if pa kaya kung ang ilang mga walang matatapunan ng basura ay magtapo na lang sa ilog, lalo ho tayo magkakaroon ng malaking problema sa pagbaha, Alvin.
Partida, andyan pa yung operation ng
Yes.
Metro Clark Waste Management
Oo.
Corporation na sumasalo ng majority ng mga disposable waste from Metro Manila and other regions na katabi, particularly Central Luzon, in parts of Southern Luzon, sa Cavite.
Yes.
They're operating pero andyan pa rin yung threat ng pagbaha.
Malaking
Mostly in
usapin
Metro
to.
Manila. Malaking usapin
Siguro hindi
to.
naman natatapos sa programa natin to, Alvin. Sabi ko nga kanina, magkakaroon tayo ng isang coverage dito. Kasi ito ay hindi usapin lamang ng EuroTV o usapin to ng Metro Clark Waste Management. Usapin to ng anuman ang magiging epekto nito sa kalusugan ng mga tao at siyempre ng sambayan ng Pilipino. Siguro paano na tayo, Alvin? Overtime na tayo.
Once again,
go.
maraming salamat sa ating guest this afternoon.
Thank you
Once
very
again,
much.
the
Yes.
Chairman and Technical Director of Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation, Sir Holger Holtz. Thank you so much.
Sir.
And Government Relations and Political Affairs of Metro Clark Waste Management Corporation, Sir Rafael. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you very much. Thank you for having us.
Really appreciate it, sir.
Alright.
And Chairman, may mga balita pa ba tayo
Well,
regarding
actually,
developments sa
yun
mga
lang naman,
pagbaha?
medyo nagiging yung mga libu-libong motorista na na-stranded sa kahabaan ng NLEX kahapon, okay naman na, nakakabiyahin na sila.
Pero as of 10 p.m. sa bahagi ng Cainta Rizal, hanggang sa may Marcos Highway, may mga stranded pa rin na mga motorista dyan, no? Dahil may parts pa rin sa Cainta Rizal na lubog pa rin sa baha at hindi pa rin passable sa mga light vehicles as of 11 a.m. So, ingat po tayo.
Yes, ingat tayo. Itong dineklara ng DILG na mga under the state of calamity dala ng baha, itong Bataan, Bulacan, Batangas at Cavite, baka magkaroon din tayo ng declaration ng state of basura. Pag nangyari na ipasara to. But well, maraming salamat po sa mga nakaisa sa programa ngayong araw. Dapat ito ay special coverage para sa typhoon ng bagyo na to? Karina, para po sa ating, ang EuroTV Philippines po ay tumatanggap pa rin po ng mga, although marami na nagtatanggap ng donation sapagkat tayo po ay tumutugon doon sa mga binaha. Ang Sogo Cares, magpapadala daw ng 1,000 kumot. Alvin, lagi nating partner yan.
Yes,
At itong ating Federation ng Filipino-Chinese Chambers, siyempre si Mr. Vincent Chan, magpapadala rin ng mga tulong na ihahatid natin diretso doon sa mga naging biktima ng baha, Alvin.
Well, I think so. Yan ang dapat antabayanan ng mga kababayan natin, yung pagbibigay tulong ng EuroTV Cares. Sa ilalim, of course, na pamumuno ng ating chairman, Dr. Danilo B. Mangahas, walang iba, at katuwang natin dyan ng Gawad Filipino Foundation sa pagbibigay ng tulong sa ating mga kababayan na lubos na naapektuhan ng kalamidad. Hindi lang yan. Of course, may mga chosen communities din tayo na binibigyan at charities na binibigyan ng tulong all over Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. At sa muli po, maraming salamat sa inyong pagsama sa amin ngayong hapon. Muli po, ako po si Alvin Palabello. Thank you po. Sir, thank you.